Plus Q&A event. My name is Anamari Fanthorpe and I'll be your host today. And today we have Greer Davies here from OneMusic. We're going to be talking about what businesses need to know about playing music. So there's always licensing and possibly some fees that are involved in being able to use music in our business. So let's get into the skinny of it. Thanks so much, Greer, for joining us here on Digital Boost. We haven't had you before.
No, and kia ora. Thanks so much for having us, and thanks for the warm introduction. I'm Greer Davies, and I'm the director of OneMusic, which is a music licensing initiative. So this session will not take the full hour, so you'll have time back in your day. And I'm just going to talk you through what businesses need to know about playing music. We've got a really brief agenda today. Just loading my next screen. 5 topics, 5 points that we'll take you through. Many businesses play music, and some don't even realize that music is playing. Music is such a part of our lives that we often take it for granted. We all understand the emotive value that music has in our personal lives, and there's no disputing that music has value in a business. Music's a powerful tool. Its sales increase, shoppers feel more positive, you and your team really enjoy listening to music, and customers will return as music is part of the overall package of a shopping experience. Now, creating music is not easy. It takes time and effort. In New Zealand and in similar parts of the world and other parts of the world, there is a copyright law that talks about permissions that are required from individuals for when their music is played in public. So the music that we play in our personal and domestic lives is fine, and there are terms and conditions. So when we join a platform where we can access content, there will always be terms and conditions. These can be quite long. Often there's just an accept button or a tick box, which most of us probably do. We don't read the many pages of what can be quite legalese chat or words, and we just go forth and use that music. So when you use music in a business, that is considered a public performance, and that is what OneMusic works under. So if you look closely at the terms and conditions of your streaming services that you may use or other content providers, you'll find statements like personal use only or not authorized for public performance. That same rule extends to if you're using radio in your business or TV or any audio-visual streaming service. So it's not just music streaming services. So music is really different in a business than it is at home. The change in scenery means a change in the rights, and that's where you need permission, and that is what OneMusic gives you in order for you to use music in your business. OneMusic is a joint licensing initiative between 2 organisations, APRA AMCOS and Recorded Music New Zealand. APRA is an association of composers, songwriters and music publishers. Recorded Music New Zealand represent recording artists and record labels, and those 2 rights are 2 separate, distinct rights in every song. So as an example, if you are a resident in New Zealand and Australia and you are a composer or songwriter, you would join APRA. And through affiliated organisations around the world, APRA will represent that individual's rights when their music is played in this territory. APRA is affiliated with other music rights organisations around the world, and those organisations represent those songs on behalf of APRA. And when music is played, let's say in England, PRS, which is the APRA equivalent, would collect royalties, they would pay APRA, and APRA then pays the writer. And that works in reverse all around the world. Individuals can be members of both APRA AMCOS and Recorded Music New Zealand, or they could be a member of one or the other. But irrespective of that, permission is still required when using music in a business. It's not impossible for a business to contact composers, songwriters, music publishers, recording artists, and record labels to gain permission for songs that they would like to play in their business. But if you think of the quantity of songs that a business would play of a day, that becomes an extraordinary task. And quite often, rights holders will just send a query back to the organisation that licenses the public performance of music in a business, because it is very time consuming. It also limits what you can play. Having a OneMusic license gives you the flexibility to play curated music playlists, to play the radio, to play music from a TV or an audiovisual service, to work with a background music supplier to understand what music you would like played in your business for you and your customers. Organisations like ours exist all around the world, and we represent pretty much every commercially released song globally. We also receive a lot of data. Late last year, we partnered with a music recognition technology company called Ordu, and we are trialling some about 20 or 30 devices in Auckland-based businesses where we're capturing every song that is played in those businesses. There are also some 30 plus background music suppliers in New Zealand who supply curated music to tens of thousands of locations throughout New Zealand. And they also report to us all the songs that they provide those businesses. We also receive data from every commercial radio station. We receive data from student radio stations, iwi stations, access stations, and TV networks. All of that data aids in the distribution for APRA and Recorded Music New Zealand to ensure that royalties are paid to rights holders. OneMusic is the public performance licensing arm of APRA and Recorded Music New Zealand. So we are licensing businesses for the use of music, and then APRA and Recorded Music New Zealand distribute that revenue to their members. It's very, very simple to obtain a license. All you need to do is head to our website, which is onemusicnz.com. You select licenses, and then you select the industry that best represents your business. Once you're there, you'll see a really simple license application, and there's a table. Music license fees for the majority of businesses are based on the audible area that the music can be heard in, where the public is able to access. So there's a table, there's different meters squared bands with a flat 12-month fee. For hospitality, the same structure applies, and then there's per day rates if you have live music, DJs and or karaoke. In fitness, the license fee is based on the number of members you have and the number of fitness classes that you may offer. So we've really tried to structure really simple fees. They're annual license fees. We've got payment plans. We'll accept payments whichever way suits the client, and they just annually renew. And then there are other schemes to fit other types of businesses. So as an example, there's a bus and coach license scheme, there's a sports code scheme. So it's all on our website. We have partnered with a number of peak member industry organisations that we work with, and all of those organisations that you can see on the screen are partners of ours, and we have there's a lot of information on their websites about OneMusic, so you can contact the team at those organisations. Or please contact the OneMusic team for any questions that you may have. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me today. And if you have any questions, please reach out.
Oh, okay. So let's have a little bit of chat about this, because obviously we've got quite a bit of time, and so we want to get a bit of a discussion going. If anybody has any questions, please drop them in the chat. We'd love to get your questions. Oftentimes you have a very individual situation, and you need to find out what works for your business and what you can afford. So can you tell me, what are some of the instances that usually happen where people kind of fall into traps where they're not complying, and things like that?
So often people don't know that they need a license. So often we turn the music on in a business. It's just part of what we do every day. We hop in the car, we've got the radio playing, we're constantly listening to music. So turning it on often doesn't, people don't know that they need a music license. So the team are always reaching out to businesses to educate them about the need for a music license.
Okay, so a question here about social media. If you don't have a physical bricks and mortar presence, but are looking to use music in your social media reels, is that something you deal with?
So not specifically under OneMusic. When it comes to social media and online, that defaults to the two organisations that we work with. So that's APRA and Recorded Music New Zealand.
Can you go ahead and drop those links into the chat? That'd be really helpful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so social media is its own beast, I guess. Yes.
It is, and it requires separate permissions, which, is confusing. So there's I've just put the APRA link in, and then Recorded Music.
And a lot of those sites, they have like free options. If it's listed on there, you can use those on there. You don't have to ask for specific licenses on social media if it's a part of the setup of being able to choose the music on there.
Yeah, and I think that's what has made the OneMusic option so simple, is that prior to OneMusic, and actually still in many countries around the world, business owners still need a license from the two organisations. So they need to go to the composer organisation and they need to go to the record label organisation, and both can license very, very differently. So under OneMusic, which we launched nearly 10 years ago, we streamlined that process in New Zealand just to offer the one license to cover both rights. So it's been incredibly successful in trying to simplify music licensing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, let me just go ahead and check the other platforms, because we do stream out and I can't see those while I'm in here. Just have a quick look and make sure I haven't missed anybody's questions. But it looks like we're all right. Okay, well, that was, sorry, I missed the beginning and you may have covered this, but if our office of 4 staff is not open to the public, do we still need a license?
Yes, you do. And we have a music in the workplace license, and the license fee is on the number of full-time employees that you have, with the minimum fee. And I'll drop the link to that license in the chat for you.
Okay. Now, I think you were mentioning, as I was updating and opening up all the chats, there's something. Are people able to see whether or not you're playing music in your building? Is that what you were saying? Something about that it shows, and that's how folks get in trouble for it? Like, I don't understand. Yeah.
So we Most businesses do play music, and we contact businesses. We ask if they're playing music. In some areas, as an example, hospitality, we do make the assumption that music is probably being played in that bar. I've never been into a silent bar, and so we educate the bars and the business owners about the need for a license. Many businesses don't use music and choose not to. And, you know, that's absolutely fine as well. What we encourage is that with a OneMusic license, you can play as much music as you like, for as long as you like, and you can, you know, change what you're playing as an offering to your clientele.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about in those rural areas when you're, you know, you're a mechanic or something like that, and you've got like a couple of employees, like what's the real range of danger of being caught playing music in your, you know, especially in such remote, we do have a lot of rural businesses that tune into Digital Boost, and, you know, I'm sure that they're kind of going, oh, you know, so I'll just put it out there for anybody else who's thinking it, but it doesn't want to say it. That's kind
No,
of
that's good. No. We have a team who are on the road, and we have field representatives out. And our main driver is to educate businesses about the need for a music license. There is a compliance component to what we do, but it is not the driver. You know, we do have files at our lawyers, but it's not something that I willingly undertake. I would prefer that we educate a business so that they understand why they need a license. They may not agree, but they understand. And if we can get to that point, then that's a really great resolution.
Yeah, great. Okay. So this session is being recorded. If you'd like to go back and watch the beginning or the session itself, it will be sent out to you in an email. It'll be on the website. And of course, if you're streaming with us on social media, you can watch it back as soon as it finishes finalizing. So thank you, Greer, and the whole team. Mel was a part of this as well, and just making this session happen to help educate our users. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Same to you. Thank you.
Oh, wait, hold on. If you're playing, we got a rogue question over here on the side I didn't see. If you're playing music at work through your personal phone and listening through headphones, do you have to have a license?
That's a very good question. I'm not entirely, yes, if it's, I mean, it is in public, but we can't hear it in public, so it'd be difficult to enforce. But yeah, I mean, I think if
because I mean, like everybody's got Spotify, you know, like most people have Spotify and they're listening to Spotify and they pay for those accounts, you know, so that's a license, right? So
they do. And in those terms and conditions of Spotify, it's for private and domestic use. So taking it into the business setting is taking it outside of that private and domestic use. Now, I don't work for Spotify, so I'm not enforcing their terms and conditions. But in public, the use of Spotify in public does require permission.
Okay, even if you've got headphones on.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm blown. My mind is blown. So, because I guess when would you use it? You know what I mean? Like most people use it on walks, or if they use it.
Yeah.
Like
so walking
at a cafe, or
walking's fine, and you know, out in your car is fine, and in your you know, on your balcony or wherever you might be. That is absolutely what the Spotify terms and conditions or any other streaming service allows. But when you step outside into what's classed as a public performance or in public, that's when those terms and conditions no longer extend to.
I'd be interested to see a lot of yoga teachers like teach at their homes, or hairdressers at their homes. That's a residence. It's not, you know, it is their business, but it's a residence. You know, does that then comply with Spotify's, you know, rules that you can play it there, because technically you're in your residence, you know, you're not in the public. So what about if you're listening to regular radio?
That is also covered by OneMusic. So a radio station's broadcast is again in that domestic environment, and when that use shifts to in public, so in a shop, in wherever it might be, the OneMusic license is required to authorize the public performance of that music.
Okay. This has been very enlightening. Thank you so much, Greer.
Pleasure.
Before we kick off, I just want to let everybody know what we're doing on Thursday. We are going to be learning how to create Facebook ads. It's a workshop. You will actually do a hands-on. This is how you create it from start to finish. We've got David from Dimple Digital, and he's epic. So please tune in for that on Thursday. You do have to register to those events because they are closed sessions, because we like to get really hands-on and really help you out individually. So if you're interested, sign up. Thanks, Greer. Thanks,
Thank
team
you.
Music. Have a great day.
Same to you.